Welcome to another edition of Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast, with your host, Brandon Morrell.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy, Constantine Maroulis. That's right, your favorite two-time Tony-nominated Broadway star and your mom's favorite American Idol. You're listening to a grand slam of music, sports, and entertainment. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast with Brandon Morrell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Tune into the show on iHeartRadio podcasts, Spotify, and on the sportsguyspodcast.com and at thwn.org.
And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Of course, countdown is on to CMA Week there in Nashville, Tennessee at the Music City Center. Hope to be there live doing our show. In just a few weeks, there are some good guests lined up for you there, too, at the same time. KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and the Sports Guys Podcast.com, a grand slam of music, sports, and entertainment. And, of course, as you heard there at the top, he is my favorite American Idol of all time. Not afraid to admit that. Always good to connect with him, talk some baseball, and just have fun here on the podcast here. Constantine Maroulis joining us here on the Backstage Pass. My friend, how you doing?
So well. Great to be here again.
It is good to be here, man. Well, I tell you what, you were asking me before the show, so I guess we start right there, which is good because you love baseball, America's national pastime. And I can say the two teams match up this week, Astros, Dodgers, so it's like must-see TV. And so it's my first team, the Astros, against the second team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. You know a little bit about that being from out there in Cali. So I will say, you know, both teams right there, Dodgers in first place, obviously, Astros trying to fight back and claw their way. They do what they normally do. It's kind of like their honeymoon period. They start slow, and then the second half team, they kind of turn things on. Baseball-wise, has it been the Dodgers, or who's doing it for you this year?
No, I mean, I know I have the 310, and I spend a lot of time in California, but I was born in Brooklyn. I grew up in New Jersey. I'm a diehard Yankees fan since day one, since the Steinbrenner years, since Billy Martin, since, you know, I mean, even the late 70s. In my house, I was a little kid. I was born in 75. And I remember my older brother and sister in 77 and all that, you know, the hoopla over the World Series and the Son of Sam and all of that. So I go way, way back. I'm a Don Mattingly, Ricky Henderson, 80s guy, no doubt. My Yanks are rolling right now. But when you're out in California, yeah, it's all Dodgers, it's all Padres, all over TV. Everywhere you go, people are going nuts. And, you know, obviously a rich Hispanic community here that take like huge pride in both teams. So it's pretty incredible. And it's interesting sort of how the Dodgers are viewed now as opposed to when I first started coming out here 20 plus years ago. I mean, they've always been a big market team, a big team, but it's just, you know, they had some lulls back then too. Now they're just great all the time. I mean, they kind of bought every player. And who am I to say that? I'm a Yankees fan, but this is like tenfold. So, but they're hitting a little rough patch right now. They're susceptible. They're susceptible. The Yankees had them on the ropes in the World Series and really just self-collapsed 2 years ago. So. Yeah. I think I could see them both back there, but I got to be honest, you know, being in Houston last summer, the summer before, I got to see a couple of games there, and that's some town for baseball as well. But let's see, man, you know, we're like 34, 5 games in, if that. You know, we'll start to know over the next 20 where real teams stand. We lost John Sterling today. I found out who is the great voice of the New York Yankees for many years. So eternal be his memory. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a great summer.
Yeah, condolences go out to the Sterling family. One of the great announcers, like I said, passed away today too as well. But our thoughts and prayers are with the John Sterling family out there. Hey, talk about this. I actually got a chance to connect over this American Idol podcast that's been going on with Danielle Fishel here, being the 24th season. Hard to believe we're still talking about this great show in 24 years of history now too. But take me through that, the experience of, you know, now having a podcast, which is giving like those behind the scene looks and the coverage and just as soon as anybody comes off the show or even still on the show, they get on there and talk about their experience and, what it was like to, like I said, pick songs and go through wardrobe changes, things like that. You got a chance to reflect a little bit with Danielle. Talk about that experience and, definitely your experience on that podcast.
For sure. I mean, Topanga herself, she looks better than ever. She's adorable and she's really good at this job. Danielle was awesome, very hospitable. We had a great time, a great hang. Now, going back, I used to do all that stuff for Idol. I hosted many a show, co-hosted many a show from the Fox Reality Network, if you believe that was something that existed. It was short-lived, maybe just 3 or 4 years. I had a show on there, on Yahoo, a thing on VH1. So we did tons of shows. I was backstage with TV Guide. This is all back in the day when the whole world was still just watching Idol. So they figured out, with this repackage of the show over the last several years at ABC, at Hulu, at Disney, it's like they found a new audience, and they really felt it important to be able to clip out the show like this, and have a reaction show. It's right there, right on the set, just off, where the contestants usually compete and all of that. They set up a great stage. Danielle's great at the job. She's great with social media and all of that. So it was easy. It was great to be back. I love it there. It's like family. I was back last year for my official 20th anniversary reunion with Carrie. We didn't perform, and I'm pissed because this year's 20th, which is season 5 with Daughtry and all of them, they're performing. So I was like, Megan, what's going on? But, sometimes it's just how it works out with the programming, how far along they are in the schedule. Next week is the finale. So there's a lot going on. So, but it was awesome. It was great to be back. And I thought we had a lot of chemistry. I was like, maybe, just maybe, you might need to add a permanent co-host next year. So we'll see.
I can vouch for that. He'd be a great permanent co-host right there with the professional Danielle official out there, Topanga herself, no doubt. Hey, talk about the start of this year. We're already, like I said, a first quarter down. We're in the second quarter right now, too, almost halfway done this year, too. We're going to play a couple songs here in a little bit, too. But you mentioned you got a lot of new projects, some things you're working on. Kind of tell my audience a little bit about Constantine Maroulis and kind of what you're working on for 2026.
Well, sure, man. Blessed to keep it rolling and rocking. I, of course, my biggest role is father to my now 15. I had to stutter when I said it. 15-year-old daughter. Wow. Her mom, who I met, on Rock of Ages many, many years ago. We've gone through it all together, ups and downs and everywhere in between. And, for many years now, she's been like my biggest champion, biggest supporter. She and Milena are great. And actually, her mom's getting married in the fall. So I'm very excited for her. Yeah, I know. So it's pretty cool. So we're raising this great teenager. She's super smart, great with sports and beautiful. And so there's that. I just came back from Europe. I was there for a few months. It was tough to be away from my daughter and my family. But my show, Rock and Roll Man, which is about Alan Freed, who was this great crusader of the early days of rock and roll and championed all these amazing Black artists during segregation, and really was there for the birth of rock and roll, the true birth of rock and roll, the movement that it is and has become, and platformed amazing artists like Little Richard and Chuck Berry when no one else would. And he paid the ultimate price. But it's a great show that has the catalog songs of the era and some amazing compositions as well, original compositions. I had it off Broadway a few seasons ago with Joey Pantoliano from The Sopranos, Emmy Award-winning amazing actor. You know him from everything. I mean, he was in Goonies, he was in La Bamba, he's been in everything. The Last of Us most recently. And so Broadway's an interesting place now. So we didn't transfer, but we had this sort of collaboration in the works with these London producers. So it all ended up working out. before the end of the year, we signed a deal. We went to the UK. We toured a new version of the show with an all new cast plus me. Huge reviews, and now there's buzz about us opening in the West End, which has always been a dream of mine. So Rock and Roll Man, the musical, check it out. You know, you wouldn't recognize me if you go on my Instagram. I'm all 1950s out, and just an amazing experience to do the sort of heavy lifting on that show and be there in the UK, where they really appreciate theater in a whole different way, and just so much history there. So we had a great time. And now I'm out in California doing a contract of the Cher show, which was a kind of campy bio musical about the icon Cher a few years ago on Broadway, where they tell her story through 3 different actresses that play Cher, sort of like all the different eras. And I'm playing Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers. You could probably cut to that. Oh no, we're not doing that. So but you can see that on my Instagram as well. We're having a great time. So a bit more of a feature, which I was happy about. I could take a little break. I'm doing a lot of writing. I was able to drive up to LA to do The Idol. I'm back there on Tuesday. Just seeing the beaches, hiking, kind of taking this time to reset a bit and focus on some new music that we're working on for later this year.
Looking forward to that too. We'll have to reconnect when that announcement comes back to you. Right now, play a little music here. Constantine Maroulis here, the Backstage Pass, all about you. We'll take you back to 2017, one of my favorite songs. Time to rock out here on the show. Stay tuned.
Walked on a wild girl, didn't care that the spark turned. Boston was loud for the young and wild. Hitchhiked to Cape Cod, prayed to wild God, and crashed on somebody's dead beach in the night. Oh, you still remember the snow in November, the car breaking down along I-95, little darling. Never melts, it's the warmth in your bones. I'm still calling for you, baby.
everyone. This is recording artist Lindsay L., and you're listening to a grand slam of music, sports, and entertainment. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast with Brandon Morrell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. Tune into the show on iHeartRadio Podcasts and on the sportsguyspodcast.com and at thwn.org.
Is your home or business in need of a fresh look? Right Flow Pressure Washing and Lawn LLC is more than just pressure washing, providing professional cleaning for homes, commercial buildings, parking lots, roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, and so much more, including lawn service and landscaping. Our mission here at Right Flow is to exceed the needs of all our customers while providing all of our services at an affordable rate. We're committed to going above and beyond where the job is done right. Give your property the care it deserves. Call Right Flow today at 409-363-2565 or go to rightflowwashandlawn.com.
What's up, guys? This is Colin Stow, and you're listening to a grand slam of music, sports, and entertainment. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast with Brandon Morrell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. Tune into the show on iHeartRadio Podcast at on the sportsguyspodcast.com and at thwn.org.
And back here on the show again, all about you and Constantine Maroulis. It's all about him today. It's his show here on the Backstage Pass. Hey, let's talk a little bit about this one, too. I mentioned Rock Out. Love this one. Just one of my favorite songs lyrically. Man, so many different messages it sends in this one. A lot of people have told me they can resonate with this one, too, going through it. Fantastic piece of work, and I'm sure for you guys, it's always got to be one of your favorites in your catalog.
Thank you for saying that. That's very kind of you. You know, a lot of people know me more as a purveyor of other people's songs and Broadway and such, but you know, I love putting out original material. All About You was really a love letter for me to an ex, and the collaboration with Sam Hollander, one of the great songwriters in modern music today. We co-wrote that. We're dear friends, and it just felt right from the very, very beginning, you know. And it was sort of something I always said, like, oh man, I'm all about her. I'm all about her, you know? And it just kind of was one of those top lines that stuck and just reminded me of my college days in Boston and New England and all of that. And, you know, just sort of was inspired by the Sam Cooke into Steve Perry kind of that arpeggio, almost 50s kind of style song. So, just a little storytelling and, you know, some high notes.
When you remember your season looking back on Idol, and I know people say, you know, coming off that show, the real work begins compared to being on that show. It's still work on there, no doubt about it, too, when you're facing the best of the best nationwide in the competition. I mean, people come from all over to be a part of something like this and, you know, get their name and their brand out and understand, you know, what it's like to be in the music industry and stage presence and like I said, song choice, things like that, you know, feedback from the judges, too. And what do you remember best about your show compared to, you know, when they stopped after the 20-something seasons or whatever it was, the last 3 or 4 have been back with ABC, that kind of thing. And, of course, I know judges come and go, things like that, too. But you learn a lot, and then the real work begins when you come off a platform like that. What do you remember best about your season?
Wow, great question. I said this on the podcast the other day with Danielle. I just knew from the beginning that Carrie was going to win, right? Like, I just knew. You know, I had been around. I'd been in the business. I was in Rent on a big Broadway international tour, you know, went to Tokyo, did touring all throughout the States, had graduated a prestigious, you know, drama school and all of that. And, you know, I just kind of knew. I was like, this girl, whoa, if you could cast this part, this is the girl. So I got to get as far as I can. I think what I remember most is, oh, wow. Well, when I did Bohemian Rhapsody, it's like the ripple effect. It's like you could feel, because it really did feel like the whole world was watching. 30 million people a night. I mean, that was nuts. And it was just everywhere. And it was still a little bit before we had everything on the smartphone right in our hand. And we were sort of like desensitized to like everything, you know. It was an exciting time where people could really, they talked about the show nonstop, like at work or at school, or backstage. I mean, there was just this buzz, right? So I did a big song like that, and it felt like, whoa, maybe momentum is swaying my way where I could take this, or I could at least, really get as far as I can and give it a shot against Carrie. So I do remember that. And I remember getting voted off, not ever being in the bottom 3. And it really, looking back, being this like amazing television moment that will always live on, I think, as one of the great sort of like shocks or whatever. But that really helped me. That kind of propelled me into this underdog status and helped me with Rock of Ages. I remember when Simon Fuller, the real creator of the show, not Simon Cowell, he was head of 19. He came right into my dressing room when I got eliminated, and they're like, "We're going to help you. You have a lot going on. We've been receiving calls. We're excited for your future. It all begins today." And he was a lovely mentor in that time. And there really was a lot going on. I had like a big TV deal with ABC and Kelsey Grammer. I had, record deal offers to do this big tribute for Queen and, the Tonight Show and Broadway. And it was just like, oh, this is so crazy. And then everything sort of settles and, you find the thing that you're meant to be a part of. And I think ultimately that was Rock of Ages for me, and collaborating with the original creatives on that to really create something special and iconic that lives on all over the world now in different languages and schools. And who would have thought that our little rock and roll bar show would become, one of the top titles in musical theater.
When you look back at the Tony nominated and you got that call, and a lot of people say, it's about what have you done for me lately in this business too at the same time, but also to get that recognition from the peers and things like that, of people that do things like this in the business. A lot of people say they get into this not for the recognition, but it's always good to get that kind of that pat on the back when you do get some of that coming your way too. When you got that word about being Tony nominated for all your great work, it had to kind of provide just a little bit more, validation. Of course, you already knew it already, but at the same time, walk me through that process of the Tony nomination and what that felt like.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because the Tony nominations this year are about to come out. And every year when it comes around, I get that sort of, like that tingly feeling comes back to that morning. Lin-Manuel Miranda actually announced my name, which was really cool, something I'll always cherish and remember. It was really representation of all of our work, the whole cast, the whole creative team. We pretty much were the Tonys that year, and it was an amazing experience for my parents to still be here at that time, and to I don't know, my grandparents came to America, over 100 years ago, and they're long gone, but their grandson, in the city that they immigrated to, New York, the lights of Broadway, probably the most iconic and representative thing of the city, like that people, can connect to. Got a chance to be not only on the Broadway, but be recognized like that. It was a huge deal for me, a very huge deal. And, I hope to be back again. I've been back as a producer, but there's a few new shows in the works. Who knows? Maybe I'll get back there and win this time. That would be great.
It would, no doubt about it. Well, time for some more music here. KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Constantine Maroulis. Again, you can follow him out there on social media and ConstantineMaroulis.com. His last single, Pieces. Here it is on the Backstage Pass to KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Stay tuned.
Let go of all this automatic drama, static clinging to my karma, clean it daily through the social fabric laundry. Oh no, another part of me's gone. I need another rain check so I could check out of this roundabout, pulling down. All the clouds are coming out, tomorrow isn't coming out. Just hold a little longer, bound to be a second later. I could take a breath and scream it out loud. Not was gravity, I've had to face a past to see me trapped between my Jekyll and Hyde. And I could still hear both inside. Tell myself I'm moving on a little tight, a little longer. Life is short, so move along before another part is gone. Take a leap, lose control. It takes a little losing hold to make it right and making all my old stories yet to be told. Not gonna wait till someday. Been waiting all my life to just let go. Never wanted half of something. Gonna place the pieces till I'm wide awake. My soul has been asleep, now I'm wide awake. The holes are running deep and I can find a way. Got nothing more to keep, I can hide away. Can't wait another minute. Time is up, I've had enough. I make my diamonds from the rough. I keep them on the chain with my fingers crossed. Can't take away the pain, but I can shake the loss. 'Cause I'm not gonna wait till someday. Been waiting all my life to just let go. Never wanted half of something. Gonna place the pieces till I'm whole. Not gonna wait till someday. Been waiting all my life to just let go. Never wanted half of something. Gonna place the pieces till I'm whole. Not gonna wait till someday. Been waiting all my life to just let go. Never wanted half of something. Gonna place the pieces till I'm whole.
Hey, y'all, this is Bucky Hurd with the Righteous Brothers, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. You can also stream the show on thwn.org and anytime at thesportsguyspodcast.com.
Are you looking to increase your online presence? Are you searching for a new logo or company branding? Have you been considering more ways to reach the world with your business, ministry, or church's message? Barkley Music and Media is an award-winning design company that utilizes the latest technology while keeping the integrity of over 30 years of customer service. Web design, graphic design, multimedia, video editing, voiceover, commercials, logo design and branding, photography, and much, much more. See portfolios and testimonials online at www.barkleymusicandmedia.com or contact them today at 502-382-8299. Barkley Music and Media, your connection for the best in multimedia. Call today, 502-382-8299, or go to www.barkleymusicandmedia.com. Barkley Music and Media, integrity, technology, and design. www.barkleymusicandmedia.com.
This is recording artist Daniel Starworth, and you're listening to a grand slam of music, sports, and entertainment. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast with Brandon Morrell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Tune into the show on iHeartRadio Podcast, Spotify, and on the sportsguyspodcast.com and at thwn.org.
And back here again on the show, Constantine Maroulis joining us here too as well. Out there, American Idol superstar and Tony nominated too. You know, when this one came out, I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing on the day you dropped this. And I believe this was last May, if my memory serves me correctly, May of 2025, when Pieces came out. I remember kind of was my little girl, we were out and about, and I got some kind of update on my phone that Constantine released a new song across the DSP that I use for the digital streaming, and I loved this song. I've been meaning to connect with you ever since than when this came out. This is a very one of my favorite songs you've done in your catalog, and I really enjoyed this.
Thanks, man. That means a lot to me. Now you're reminding me, man. It's been a year, so I got to get these new songs out there. These days it's like it's just so different than when I first started out putting these songs out. But that was an awesome collaboration with Nate Walker and Andrew on that song. It just sort of came together. Nate had this sort of like kind of staccato kind of riff thing that he was doing, and I just sort of kind of, I don't know, I just sort of kind of started ad-libbing kind of almost like in a hip hop style over it, with the melody, and it just kind of came together. Really dig that. It was a new sound for me, a bit more of a contemporary sound, I don't know, a la Imagine Dragons and Maroon 5 or something like that. But they they had inspired me because they still continue to put out great music, despite being around a long time as well. And just a good time on Pieces, and I'm glad it got out there, and people seem to have dug it for sure.
When you think back, you mentioned that whole ride and reflection, that kind of thing too. It's amazing, even when the seasons came back over the last 3, 4, 5 years now, that the talent to me, and just the way I see it and perceive it, it gets better and better now. And your class was great, no doubt about it too. But it's so hard for America to choose weekly, looking at these contestants and kind of again what they're putting on the line too, at the same time establishing their brand, their identity, who they want to be as an artist, and all those other facets of the industry that kind of come together. I mean, I know you watch it and kind of still pay attention to it, but these last 2, 3, 4 years, it's been a very stacked class.
No doubt. Megan Michaels, Wolflick, the executive producer of the show, she's been there since day one. She was a line producer when I was on the show. I always knew she was going places. She's been running the show for a long time right now. She's got an incredible point of view. She is very detail oriented. She's got an incredible staff out there, and people that go out and really look for the right talent. It's a different world than 20 years ago when you would show up to an open call with 10,000 people. Those days are obviously over since the shutdowns and everything. Everything has gone to just digital submission. So they find the right people for the show. They scout socials. Maybe they don't want someone that's already blown up, but maybe ooh, this person's got potential. They have some numbers, not too many numbers yet. I like their original here. I like the cover of this here. They seem to really cast a great show. And let's face it, American Idol has been American idolized in this way. We set up this platform. More and more people were discovering that they wanted to sing, they wanted to be out there, they wanted to go for it. So a whole new generation of people have grown up being like, oh, I can be famous, I want to be famous, or I want to sing, I want to put my stuff out there. So I just think they're doing it in tenfold, if not more numbers. So yeah, there's just a lot of talent out there. I think kids have the confidence now that it is different than when I was a kid, because they've had these screens in front of their face since they can talk, and they just have this confidence in front of the camera, and they know how to edit. They know how to get great sound and lighting. I mean, all of that is a factor. So they also are comfortable speaking on camera, which a lot of it is the interview when they pre-screen these kids. So yeah, I'm not surprised that the talent gets more stacked each year. But don't we always say that too on Idol? Oh, this year is the biggest show we've ever had, the most talent ever. They say that every year.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, it's okay. A few more million votes is okay for them too at the same time.
No
a little bit more
doubt.
recognition.
No doubt.
Which is good there. Hey, we'll finish with this one. What food have you gotten into lately? Whether you just the wife cooks, you cook, or whatever, or you guys go out. What's been the latest flavor of the month?
Oh, good question. I don't have a wife, but I had a girlfriend. We broke up before Christmas, and the internet may have saw me crash out about that, but we'll move right along from that. But who knows? These things, maybe they'll come back around again. But she, credit to her, got me really eating in a far more healthy way. I lost a bunch of weight. I'm way into the fitness thing, at least for me, not like maybe the next guy. So I really try to eat clean. And while out here in California, there's a lot of great choices. But I have to say, being in the UK, there were some great choices to eat there as well. They don't have the preservatives and the sugar and the food as much there. So you could eat pretty clean, and you keep active and you're doing 8 shows a week, you stay pretty lean and mean. But for me, I was always allergic to shellfish, and so I can't mess with that. So mostly it made me just kind of hesitant to eat any kind of seafood or any fish. But more and more I've got like some fish back into my life, just not shellfish. So some sushi and some fresh, good fish. I've been messing with that, and I always love to explore Greek food and new restaurants wherever I am, because it feels like home. It's like miss my mom. She's been gone 2 years now, and her cooking. So when I see a Greek place in a new town or something, I'd probably end up taking some food away from there, or sitting down for a meal. Who knows?
Hey, it's a good thing I've been on that sushi kick too. The tuna, and of course, all the rice and things like that too, and trying to stay off the carbs and the processed stuff. Of course, I probably once or twice a week. There's the cheat days in there too at the same time.
That's
But
right.
I'm like you. It's the fitness thing that makes you proud to kind of get up every day and just take. Because if you don't take care of yourself, it's hard for anybody else to take care of you. When I look back at it too at the same time, so we're only in it for like you said, that one ride. So you might as well take care of yourself every day.
For sure.
Out there. Hey, I tell you what, I'm ready for all the new projects, new music. Best of luck with this out in Cali with the new project going on. Looking forward to reconnecting when the music comes out. ConstantineMaroulis.com, one of our favorites here on the Backstage Pass. My friend, always appreciate you dropping by, giving us a little time, and come back and do it again, no doubt.
I'd like that, and thank you for always supporting what we do over here. And absolutely, man, it's great to see you, and everybody have an awesome summer, and I'll see you real soon.
We'll do it here too as well. More great shows coming up, and of course CMA Fest countdown June 4th to 7th, Nashville, Tennessee at the Music City Center for all of us here too as well. Take care. God bless. It is the Backstage Pass powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com.
Hey guys and gals, this is Megan Lindsay, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network, and on iHeartRadio podcast. Stream the show anytime on thwn.org and at the SportsGuysPodcast.com.